Today we're going to talk about patterns, which is essentially the order that we take balls out in a clearance. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a few racks with 6 reds, 2 yellows and an 8 ball. And I'm going to open them up and I'm going to try and clear up. What I'm going to do is talk you through my thought process, the patterns that I am seeing, how I'm working out what I'm trying to do. I'm not saying that the way I go is the only way to go or the perfect way to go or the best way to go. But what I hope to do is highlight the sort of process, the thought process you need to be able to sort of develop these patterns in your own mind. The way everyone sees the game is very different. Patterns are very subjective, so you are not going to see the game the same way as me, but hopefully you can take some of the thought process I have into your own game. Let's get stuck in with frame 1. Well, not ideal because I've stunned the cue ball right the way back to the bottom cushion. They've actually opened up really well. So the first thing I have to think about here is how do I get into a clearance? And if we're playing a proper frame, I may well be thinking about trying to play it in a way that keeps it safe if I miss, or even just playing an out and out safety. I could play this ball and just try and leave the cue ball there and get the snooker. But in this situation, I'm going to try and make a pot and then make a clearance from it, because that's what we're trying to do with this this little practice session. I've got 2 main options. I've got this one to this corner or this one to that corner. This one's a much easier pot, but the cue ball is going to go into that red, which isn't necessarily going to leave me good position. If I take this one on and go forward, I'm going to have a choice of this ball or the ball at the bottom, or even this ball if I don't quite go as far. So I'm going to take the one to the right because it gives me better positional options, and then I'm going to assess my pattern from there. So all the focus on the pot. That's great. And so now that's gone in, I now start to think about what pattern I want to take. And I want to, I could take these out in a number of different ways. There's pretty much any of these balls could be my last ball, because the 8 ball's right in the middle of the table. So I just need to pick a route that I'm happy with and commit to it. So I'm thinking about maybe just working my way down the table. Just stun that one in, leave myself just there, and then I can come down from there. So I've managed to do that, a couple of shots. Now all I want to make sure, I'm trying to play into this area here. Ideally, I'd like to be straight on this one to the center, because then it's just a stun shot, leave that to the corner. If I'll have to play that one first, I could end up in a poor position. So ideally on this one into the center, but I've got margin of error if it goes wrong. If I was straight, I'd be perfect, but because I've come a fraction past straight, I've now got an angle where the cue ball would be coming here, so I could snooker myself with the 8 ball or leave myself on the cushion. So I'm just going to take this one to the corner, and I've got loads of room just to stun up anywhere on this red to this corner. And now I can just drop it in for the 8 ball. Well, it's a messy little finish because of where the 8 ball's gone. So analysing bad balls, this one comes into this pocket, but that 8 ball's in the way, so it's going to leave a little nudge. So the question mark is, if I leave an angle here, go into it, am I going to develop that one? Or do I try and get a bit straighter on that one and then try and leave myself an angle to go on and off the top cushion and play the controlled cannon into the 8 ball? I could try and come low. Actually, if I rested on that yellow, I'd just nudge into that 8 ball and open it up. So that would be the shot. I don't have the angle to do it first shot, unfortunately. I'm dead straight. I'd have to get very close to being on nothing to be perfect. So I'm going to play to leave it just, if I go just past that yellow, I've got more margin of error, I'll leave myself the angle to go on and off the top cushion. Tacking it early though, that's what I want to do. Yeah, got the angle I want, on and off the top cushion, into the 8-ball. Just need to nudge it a fraction, and then I'll be on the other edge of the corner and all the other reds are open. So, key shot. And now from here, I've just got to pick my route. Don't get lazy here, now all my hard work's done. Have to still be precise and make a decision on which way I want to work these out. So I'm just going to screw this back into the open somewhere here, and then I can take these out, that one to the middle, this one to the middle, and then leave angle on that one, drop it in, and I'm going down the line towards the 8-ball. Plenty of margin of error. So if I finish straight on this to the centre, the pattern is natural. Straight enough, I think, just about. Just off straight, so I'm going to, rather than dropping it through, my cue ball would be going there, and I don't want to risk finishing high. If I stun it, I can come here, I've got more margin of error onto the last ball, so I'm just going to stun across the face of that red. And as I said, I want to leave myself plenty of angle on that last ball, don't risk getting straight, somewhere here, so that then the cue ball is just tracking down the line to the 8-ball. Probably went 2 or 3 inches further than I wanted to, but absolutely no problem. Okay, this one's just a beautiful little split. It's worked out really well. You've still got to work this out and consider it. What's my problem ball? These two and the 8-ball are all a little bit congested, so I have to get that right. That's going to be the biggest problem. Solve that, then this is fairly simple. So decide which way to solve it. I could cut this one in now, which nudges into that one, but I'm thinking if I drop this one in the centre, I can play through the gap onto that one. It's going to be fairly straight, so what would be my next ball? Yeah, this one does go back into that pocket. I wouldn't have a good angle on this one. I would like to get rid of these 3 at the top first, but I don't know whether I'm going to be able to with the angle I leave on this one, so I may have to go down the table and then back myself to play one good positional shot up the table. But let's see what angle I leave on this next ball. Yeah, I am dead straight on it, but I can just roll this through enough. I can take the other one to the corner up here, then it allows me to clear up the bottom end of the table. I've got to decide which order I want to take these 3 in. That one does pass that one to the corner, which I'm happy about. So if I finish straight on this one, I can then take that one to the corner, and then that one. So I just have to roll this one through. Then I could take the one nearest the corner first if I needed to. Just have to roll this through an inch or 2, leave me on the next one. And then in these situations, it's often players just pot it thinking the 8-ball goes everywhere. Pick your pocket. Which pocket is easiest to get on this 8-ball? And for me, if I take that to the corner, the line of the cue ball is just going to be drifting up this way. So rather than risking trying to get to here with a bit of side to the easy pot in the centre, if I just play it with a tracer topspin and let it drift towards the 8-ball, I'm going to have a straight pot to the corner, which I'm much happier with. It's a much safer way of playing it. Okay, don't have a great first ball was my first thought here. I can cut this back in that corner. I could play a plant on it. I can cut this back. Cue ball is going to be flying around the table, but that's going to be my most controllable shot. I've got margin of error in the middle of the table as well. This one goes, that one there's plenty of room to get on as well. So cut that into the middle, come around 2 cushions, try and get the line going towards here. If I land perfectly straight on that one, then I can take that one to get on this one and unfold. If I have to take that one first, then I need to play one good positional shot to land in this area here to be able to take the red in the centre. So a couple of options at the back end. This first shot's not easy though. Well, I got the angle of that one all wrong, and I'm now back in a really tough position. I thought I was going to be hitting the cushion a bit more here, missing that yellow, and then coming down this line where I'd have the margin, but catching the yellows just put me in an awful position. So I now have to come up with plan B. And I still have the plant here, don't like the path of the cue ball though, or I have the cut back in the centre. Again, cue ball isn't great because it's going to be running loose, but I think it's more controllable because I've got more margin of error again. Okay, I'm just going to try and ideally drop this in. Well, I say ideally drop this in. I'm just worried if I go too high, making sure I don't snooker myself on that last ball over a pocket. Is that a better option than coming low and then trying to get up here? I think it probably is, because I've finished straight, it's just perfect. So just drop this in. I'm going to play this with a little bit of drag. Yeah, perfectly straight now. So now it's just make your decision. Do you want to roll this through or screw it back? I like the roll through shot because it means I can just play plain ball on this one and leave the 8-ball into this pocket. So let's go with that option. Yeah, and a plain ball in the centre. Leave it in the centre. So that's a finish that had to change. So disappointed, you know, reviewing the finish again. First shot was always going to be tricky. Massive misjudgment from me to hit this yellow on the cushion here. But I was able to not let that annoy me and just come up with plan B. One good shot into the middle pocket there, and then from there it was all plain ball stuff. It was just fairly simple as long as you take it in the right order. So got away with that one, but that happens in frames of pool. So you're going to make decisions that are going to be wrong, or that you're going to get the angles wrong. You just have to reassess and go again. And I'm pleased that I managed to do that this time and complete what could have been a tricky little finish. Another interesting layout. When yellow goes down, that helps us having a yellow go down because there's less traffic in the way. It's part of the reason I like having 2 yellows in this little routine, is that there's more traffic. If you really want to challenge yourself, you could put 3 yellows up. If you want to keep it a bit more open, then you could have no yellows or just the one. But all the reds have a pocket. This one obviously is a tricky ball because it's on the cushion, but because I've got this one, I know that if I land straight, I can land on that one down the rail nice and comfortably. I could even leave an angle where I play into that ball, but every time you play into a ball, there's always a chance that you don't develop it or you don't land on your next ball. So I think I would rather play position, but I'm just trying to work out the best way to get onto that ball to play position. It's a bit difficult from where I am right now. Tricky decision to make, actually. I mean, it looks so open and I can't make my mind up which way to go. I could come down the table, play for this one, which gets me onto this one in a way where I can get onto that one. But then I wonder whether I want that to be my last ball if I decide to play it down the cushion. Leaving this one above the centre pocket, I'm not overly happy about. And I could pinch the pocket and try and get to here. In fact, that's what I want to do, actually. I'm just going to pinch the pocket, and even if I finish low, I know that I can come round 3 cushions because I want to get onto that ball fairly straight, then I can top through, and then I will leave the one on the cushion as my last ball, which isn't always the way I want to work it, but I'm going to try it this time. So I left it low as I thought I would. Just got to work out the angle. Just coming up somewhere in the middle of the top cushion, down here, and I'll be coming down the line, which is really what you want in this situation. Yeah, perfect. I'm happy with that. I'm straight on this ball now, so I'm just going to have a look. What angle do I want to leave? Bearing in mind I want to be fairly straight on this ball to the centre, so I can just drop it through, leave that one down the cushion. And I think just somewhere here allows it to come on and off the top cushion, which I'd be happy with. Just while I'm here, I'll highlight the fact that I'm on a position where I could play that one down the rail now and come out to this situation, which actually might be a better option. But I'm going to stick with my original plan because it's the plan I picked out. But I have landed in a nice position that I could play that, and actually the cue ball would come here, drop that in the centre, which leaves me on that one, and that then becomes my last ball. But I'm going to stick with plan A. So comment below, let me know, would you have changed to plan B there? Would you have gone for the one down the cushion first rather than leaving it till my last ball? Left myself a lot thinner than I wanted, so that plan B is now looking like the best option. And as you can see, I have left myself a lot harder on this pot down the rail than I would have been. Remember, I was here before, so by going the other way, you know, in hindsight, take your hardest ball first for sure. Much harder pot now, and even the positional side of this shot isn't guaranteed. Natural angle is going to be just sliding by the 8 ball. Could play it with a trace of stun to try and get into the yellow. Or I could just back myself, make the pot, and have a trickier 8 ball than I would do if I stunned it. Yeah, and I missed the pot. That's an interesting one. So that really highlights the importance of picking a good route. And actually, I didn't see the route to play the one on the cushion earlier, but the way it came out, it was absolutely perfect. So don't be afraid that if you do pick a route that actually a better route highlights itself, then don't be afraid to take that route if it's there, because you always want to deal with your hardest ball early. So in hindsight, even if I'd made that pot down the rail, I definitely should have changed my mind and taken the pot down the rail first. So it really does highlight a very good point. Okay, decent split, no clusters to worry about. I'm already thinking about what's my difficult ball. This one's awkward here, but I've got the perfect ball to land on it if I can get straight on that one. This one into the corner, and this red passes the 8 ball. So I've already worked out my pattern fairly quickly, that if I can play this one come through, I've got that one to the middle, then I've got this to the corner, and I can land myself anywhere near straight on this one, and that one then can become my last ball nice and comfortably. So all I have to do is just make sure I come just either straight or just a fraction past straight on this one into the middle, which is somewhere near the break line, just shy of it. Just over hit my shot, but I should still be able to just drop this in and stay on the one to the corner. I just want to make sure the easy shot is to stun it in and leave myself here, but I don't want to risk catching the yellow and then messing up position onto the 8 ball. So I'm just wondering whether I can top it through and whether I would miss the yellow that way, or whether I try and play into this cushion here. So it's a slightly more delicate shot than I really wanted it to be, but I'm just going to punch it in and just try and stun past this yellow, hit this cushion, and just get out enough so I don't have to worry about that last yellow. And now I can just drift up for the 8 ball. This was an interesting finish because I think a lot of people might have been tempted when I overran the first positional shot and had to come down the table to maybe clear up some of these ones at the bottom first. But because I felt I could hold and I backed myself to make this one down the rail, I felt that it was the right choice of shot, because if you're playing a real frame, it's a free shot, because if I'd missed that, I was keeping the table nice and safe. I wasn't going to leave any yellows on, so I still felt it was the right way to go. And of course, I backed myself to make it, and I did on this occasion. And that made the rest of the finish fairly simple. Well, there you go. I hope that gives you a bit of an insight into how I go about trying to work out my patterns and work out my clearances. My first thought is always on what's my problem ball, what do I need to solve, is there a problem I need to solve, and then you solve the problem, and then once they're all open, you start to think black backwards and where you can. Sometimes you're not absolutely exactly pinpoint exactly which route you want to go, but you know that if you land in a good area, that it'll give you an option for a couple of balls that would be perfect for the 8 ball. So that it's a sort of black backwards, but it's always evolving kind of mentality, the way I think about it. I'd love to hear from you guys. Give this a try yourself. Let me know first of all, whether you agree with me with the decisions I made. If not, which way would you have gone on some of these finishes? But also try it yourself. Give it a go and let me know how you found this routine. Has it helped your patterns? Has it helped you the way you think about the clearances? And of course, please subscribe to my channel. I've got plenty more content on the way, and I'll catch you next time.